In today's episode of Food Basics Reinvented, we're going to cover a super delicious mixed Italian and Greek style Mediterranean moussaka that is absolutely incredible. First off, we need to prep the vegetables, so when we start the actual cooking, every ingredient goes into the recipe on the right time. Start with a couple of eggplants, remove the stem and cut into half, then peel half of the skin to give the eggplant a beautiful look. Cut the eggplant into half-inch thick slices. Place in a bowl and season with some salt. Leave the sliced eggplant on the side for about 30 minutes. The salt will drain the bitter juices from the eggplant. After 30 minutes, get rid of the juices, wash the eggplant slices from the salt and dry with a tissue. Now get a green bell pepper, cut the flesh and get rid of the stem and seeds. Then slice into 1-inch pieces. To make it clear, just cut the pepper double the size you would do for topping a vegetarian pizza. Peel a small onion, cut in half and dice. My favorite way for dicing onions is to make 2 side cuts, then slice. Flip and slice again, and you will end up with onion that is perfectly diced for this recipe in a few seconds. Finally, peel 1 clove of garlic, crush with the side of the knife, chop and save to be used in the following steps. Now let's get to the actual cooking. Place a large size saucepan on medium heat and drizzle some extra virgin olive oil. Add 350 grams of extra lean ground beef. Cook for a couple of minutes until the beef gets some color. This simple step, in my opinion, is one of the most important steps in this recipe, because if you don't cook the meat properly, the moussaka will taste horrible. If you're using beef that has more than 10% fat, make sure you drain the fat before adding the onion. When the meat is browned, add the diced onion, mix the ground beef with the onion and then add the chopped garlic. Cook until the onion becomes translucent. Add half can or 80 ml of tomato paste and mix. Add whole can or 800 grams of chunky diced San Marzano tomatoes, followed by 7 grams of salt, 4 grams of ground black pepper, 3 grams of dried oregano, and combine. At this stage, the mix will smell so delicious, and as it cooks, the fragrance from the oregano with the smell of the sautéed garlic should make you very hungry. To make this mix even more exciting, add a couple of tablespoons of apple cider vinegar for an extra kick. You need this mix to be saucy. So if the diced tomatoes you've used were not juicy, add half a cup of water. Bring everything to a boil, then lower the heat and let simmer uncovered for about 15 to 20 minutes. The eggplant will have to be 90% cooked before it goes into the final dish. So line a couple of baking trays with aluminum foil, drizzle some extra virgin olive oil and then lay down the eggplant slices. Drizzle more extra virgin olive oil on the eggplant slices and brush. Then season with some salt and freshly ground black pepper. If you really want to do this recipe old school, deep fry the eggplant slices and dry. But because I want this dish to be less fatty, I'll bake the eggplant with a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil just to give it some taste. Bake on a 375° Fahrenheit preheated oven for about 30 minutes. Once you get the eggplant out of the oven, you should be ready to assemble the dish in a few minutes. To assemble the moussaka, start with a thin layer of the ground beef and tomato mix at the bottom of a ceramic or glass big dish. Then grate some Parmesan cheese. Use a fish spatula to add the first layer of the delicate eggplant slices. Add another layer of the ground beef and tomato mix and spread with the back of the spoon. Grate a third layer of the Parmesan cheese, then add another layer of the baked eggplant slices. Sprinkle the green bell pepper pieces and cover with another layer of the ground beef and tomato mix. Grate more Parmesan cheese and then add the final layer of the baked eggplant slices. Scoop the remaining ground beef and tomato mix. Then grate more Parmesan cheese and top with 140 grams of fresh mozzarella cheese. Finally, add a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil and bake on a 375° Fahrenheit preheated oven for about 30 minutes. Now look at this. The moussaka has cooked beautifully and all ingredients smell amazing out of the oven. And this is what can be considered the perfect Mediterranean dish. Let the dish cool down for about 30 minutes before serving and then use a sharp knife to cut the moussaka into cubes without squishing the layers. To serve this delicious moussaka, place on a plate and grate some extra Parmesan cheese and decorate with some fresh parsley or fresh basil. By completing this final step, you've just placed the cherry on the cake and you should be ready to enjoy the most delicious Mediterranean moussaka ever made. Now it's time for me to enjoy this amazing Mediterranean moussaka. Wow, the eggplant is very creamy, and the taste of the San Marzano tomatoes combines beautifully with the flavor of the Parmesan and mozzarella cheese. And when you mix these amazing notes with the taste of the oregano flavored, garlicky ground beef that has been seasoned with freshly ground black pepper and finished with a kick from the apple cider vinegar, you feel that you have been teleported to Italy and Greece and having an amazing Mediterranean moussaka experience. I hope you like this episode. Please try this recipe and tell me your opinion in the comments below or on Food Basics Reinvented Facebook and Instagram pages. Please subscribe so you don't miss any of my new videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bon appétit!